Ladies and gentlemen, welcome! I'm coming at you here from the Silver Gauntlets Arena. I am up here in a blimp looking down upon the race that is about to start. I am here on my own with my co-commentator down in the booth. So if you hear any turbulence, it's just my blimp. I'm sorry. It's also really warm in my blimp, that's why. I have opened the window. Anyway, Elagatua, my co-host, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. You're in the blimp and I'm at the beach, and it's just a giant mess. But Spilagatua back for the second day in a row, I guess. And I mean, this is quite a match. This is basically the match. Like, if you're not excited for this match, then you better check your pulse. We got Cola and What the Hell's Happened, and we are underway with an Epona's song start. And we don't need no podium. We're just gonna get straight to it.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I mean, yeah, what can you say? Cola versus What the Hell's Happened. Two titans in the OTR community, I would say. Wisdom one step, Fear zero. Wow. Oh no. Well, that happened.
Oh, aren't you excited that Game 3 is going to be decided in a 0-1-0?
Yeah, that is, that's something. Too bad we can't combine them into an 11 or a 110 or something. That would make us, well, a bit longer. Yeah, you have to reiterate though, two titans of the OTR community. These people, I mean, WTHH happens won tournaments. Cola, I think, has also won some tournaments. Not the main one though, but has always been one of the favorites to win. Widely considered one of the best runners. And now we get to see them go head to head in a Triforce Blitz match. The last one. One of these players is going to go down to the losers bracket. Or the wanderer bracket.
So execution is going to be really critical in this seed because there's not going to be a lot of information out there.
Nope.
That starting hint in the Temple of Time is the only path hint in the entire seed because it's a 0-1-0. So there's not really any need to chase down hints, at least based on what we have. Like, we have that Rudo's letter, and now that's guaranteed that Rudo's letter is useless this seed because there's no way that we can need anything behind there.
Yeah, it's not a duplicate item, so it has to be nothing. Yeah, this will be crazy. Very little information to go on, and you might be inclined to think like, oh, well, this is going to be a quick seed, but this can be hell. You could be looking for a needle in a haystack for all you know. It's kind of annoying. Yeah,
there is kind of a strong meta for the order in which you should do dungeons that are 0. And speaking of songs that are useless, so ZL, guaranteed nothing hard locked behind ZL this seed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Most all the dungeons that require CL are pretty, they have other requirements, so it just wouldn't make sense. So we're Jabu, Questionly, Boomerang, and the letter, right? So that one is off, and the other two don't need it.
So I think the critical thing for both of these runners is just finding explosives as fast as possible. You really want to get into Dodongo's Cavern as quickly as you can, or to find any sort of object that will let you beat a dungeon to get Ganon's access. Ganon's is probably the number one place for 0 pieces because there's just very often multiple ways to get there, and so it ends up being 0 a lot. So if we see a hook shot early or any bomb chews, or even the Kokiri sword for Foolish Deku Tree, like, that might be worth trying to skip everything and just get Ganon's access, because if SFM is storms, which I mean, there's a lot of precedent for having things be like, or at least like Wisdom being in storms on like Saria Song or something, then it could just be as simple as bottom of the well to Ganon's to a victory.
Right, yeah. And like you said, this will be very mechanically focused when there's just so little to cover and it has to be covered so quickly in a race like this. You need players that can just move really fast without, or as I say, when WTHH happens, it's 2 flames during the race, but whatever. It happens sometimes. 3.
I think there's some interesting divergence already. Cola just skipping past Dampe and going straight for the song, I think, hoping that maybe this is going to be a warp song, like maybe like Minuet is what he's hoping for. And it's Saria's song, so I mean, that's interesting, but not necessarily super exciting.
No.
But that does mean that potential for Minuet to have the SFM path and not just Saria's song. And Cola, I think, just going straight child, gonna try and go for the denser locations and find explosives there. And What the Hell's not really getting paid out for doing Dompe. So
No.
I think Cole is a little more experienced with Triforce Blitz than What the Hell's is. And we're going to see if that experience pays off in what is a very weird kind of edge case seed.
Yeah, this is a very technical seed. Honestly, I would say seeds like this just are really well suited to people who have a lot of experience. This is like you just get used to Triforce Blitz's like idiosyncrasies and like the specifics of the logic, and like when you see 0-1-0, it just becomes easier to parse for you like right away. You kind of already have certain scenarios in your head that perhaps what else hasn't really made like his own yet.
Yeah, so I think Cola just wants to go to any location that has a lot of checks that he can look at really quickly, and just hope that like there's bomb chews there. And so Midas House is, I guess, technically the most dense area in the game. And oh, wow, that's a lot of big chests.
It's Midas Warehouse, to say the least. Well, we'll have to see if it's anything good, but these are a lot of big chests. Royce wins. Not what he was hoping for, I imagine.
Well, it's more checks in Lost Woods and more chances to pick up some explosives. I guess you could walk past Targeted Woods now. Also, a bunch of hints coming up, so we could see some Wanderer hints that maybe point towards a bomb bag that might speed these runners along. We see Lon Wanderer there, so I'm sure Cole will be heading there immediately after SFM now.
Imagine. And the tricky thing is, even though it says 0-1-0, that doesn't mean that there's literally no items on the path. Literally, like that could be multiple bomb bags. There's a hook shot. That's pretty big. So for example, there might be 2 hook shots in Sphere 0, for what we know, or Sphere 1. Blocked by the slingshot above, just extremely unlikely, but it's not impossible, right? These situations can happen, and then
wow, that's such a huge, crazy drop there.
Insane. Wow, that Dampe, we wrote it off, but that was actually that was huge. That was really big.
So both of our runners picking up really important items. So Cola with that hook shot now has the ability to go Forest Temple and get Ganon's access there. And What the Hell's now has the ability to go to Dodongo's and get Ganon's access. So let's watch, I think, on Cola's side first as a bow shows up. Good grief.
Wow.
Let's see if Storms is here.
And a DMT foolish, by the way. Yeah, it's crazy. Storms, you called it. There it is.
Yeah, so, well, our zeros don't have to be in the same place. Now we've got a Graveyard Wanderer as well. That could just be for Saria's song. Yep. Or it could even be for that Poe bottle, for all we know.
It could be for that Poe bottle, yeah. Actually, not unthinkable at all, actually.
So, it's going to be interesting to see if, like, I wonder if Cola even goes to Lon. Like, there's no guarantee that he actually has to go there. He probably knows that he needs to go to Bottom of the Well to get that wisdom piece, which surely is there. And then may just opt to try and go Forest Temple for Ganon's access and roll the dice that way. Yeah. And What the Hell's looks like it's to Dodongo's Cavern, so we're going to be getting a lot of information quickly.
Yep. Yeah, but this seed might yet throw us a curveball yet. We have seen it last time. We had these path counters that made us kind of certain, like, it's going to be this and that. But then in the end, it actually turned out to be a pretty long seed. So, that can still happen. I don't think it will be that long regardless. Not with these 2 runners and definitely with these low amounts of path ins, but it could be trickier than we think. We just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's my sequencing for what order you do the zeros in. Probably DC first, then Ganon's, then maybe Forest, maybe GTG, and can keep in mind that Epona's was the starting song, and we already have 1 hook shot, so if there's another hook shot just chilling out there, then GTG access is going to be a 0.
Right, yeah. The only trick is that the hook shot will always certainly part of the count, and Cola also
oh my god, another here. Bow. There's just all over the place.
Crazy. But yeah, the hook shot is unlikely because it was behind a slingshot. That would mean the other one is also behind a slingshot to not count towards the path count. That could maybe be it for wisdom, but that's about it.
Well, that's so as long as the other hookshot is not in GTG, then both hookshots would be available for GTG access and make it a 0. And on top of that, we already have 2 bows, so any bow lock checks are now considered a 0 as well. So the number of possible locations for 0 pieces are growing minute by minute.
Right. Yep. Sure. Another bomb bat, of course, behind a bomb ball in DC. You know, is there anything more iconic for OTR? I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, and that's potential 0 bomb bag as well, assuming that there is a strength anywhere.
Yep. That's definitely true. But yeah, it's no surprise that we see what the hell is immediately going here. Cola still opting to check out that Wanderer hint. I mean, I guess just in case, right? But, you know, we'll see how it pays off.
Could be bombs. It's just good to know because 0s really can be like in as many as like 5 dungeons. So getting that intel, like especially if it turns out to be like Requiem or something weird, could be really powerful. Or if like it's a strength upgrade, and even bombs would really help Cola at this point.
Yeah, and for that matter, like we could be completely getting trolled here, and they're just all in DC. Weirder things have happened. I think we've actually seen all pieces in the well once. That could also still happen.
Well, speaking of weird things.
Well, it can't be all in the well because of these storms, but yeah.
So that's a potential Wanderer Requiem. Let's see what shows up in the back here. That could also just be Requiem for whatever the song is in Colossus, but that's already throwing us a curveball potentially because Spirit is still potentially a 0 if the right items for crossing are available.
Yeah. If there's a magic and a lens out there somewhere too, that nullify each other. So.
Okay, that was a slingshot in the back of the of Lon Lon, so that helps us clarify nothing.
No, it really doesn't.
We could be getting a Wanderer slingshot just to pick up that hookshot in Lost Woods.
I think, if anything, it would be that, right? Because they do not lock each other out, they're both 3-0, so that would add up, but...
Cola just going straight for it, straight for Spirit.
I like it. I think it's a ballsy play, but I think it could pay off.
I think he's just
slingshot after all, and that slingshot is Wander, so you can go in here. That's kind of what this seed implies.
I mean, there can't be any pieces in Child Spirit because that would make Requiem path. But if he gets a key here and is able to climb and do Child Climb, then those are potential 0 locations. They're kind of crappy 0 locations, though. Like, a lot needs to go right to make them possible path, but some good luck for Cola. There is a... sorry, what the hell's that? A big chest there, but just bait.
It was just a double D,
Yeah, but that second chest being dead means that Cola can skip going to the back there, and it looks like that is a key, so Cola's probably going to be able to climb here.
Yep, and no Triforce pieces in DC just yet. Might be from King Dongo. Would be most appropriate if it was from a boss, right? Just thematically appropriate. And even though that big lizard clipped right through him, works in mysterious ways to hit box it.
Alright, so what the hell's gonna bring down King Dodongo? We'll see if there's a piece here. Still kind of unlikely at this point. I think Ganon's is still the most likely location, as Ganon's is hard confirmed to be 0 based on the items that we have now. But let's see what Cola finds here in Spirit, if anything.
More keys for the time being. That is nothing. I didn't even see it.
Wow, so Cola just getting... no explosives for Cola, so he can't actually continue on. So just a bunch of keys. I mean, he knows that... well, he doesn't really know anything. He just knows that... well, there's Song of Time, so that's probably not a thing.
No, almost certainly not. can eliminate a lot of options purely by just thinking like, well, could this be locking by anything else? And then, you know, Song of Time, highly unlikely to get involved in this seed. It's just kind of easy to reason it out.
Did we find anything in CAC?
Oh, yeah. Found ZL there.
Well, ZL can't be hinted Wanderer, though.
No, exactly, because that's like a unique thing. You know, there could be something in CAC that we haven't found yet, but for right now, no, I don't think we found anything. Oh, Rudo's letter, that's true, but that also doesn't seem like it to me. Because that's also one of the kinds.
I mean, if Rudo's letter ends up being Wanderer, then that's a little bit terrifying. Definitely a lot of Wanderer items showing up, though, so it doesn't seem like things are as simple as get a bomb bag, do Dodongo's Cavern, and Kokiri Forest Wanderer. That might be for fire arrows. It could also be for that bow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My money would be on the bow, personally.
So Cola heading to CAC now. This is going to be bottom of the well, and almost certainly going to be showing us our first Triforce piece, but this seed is definitely not about finding the first Triforce piece, it's about finding the third one.
Yep. There's a good chance it will go sub 1 hour, honestly.
Well, maybe. As yet another Wanderer shows up, good grief.
Well, it's gonna fill those slots up with something, right? So.
Well, but just the fact that there's so many Wanderers means that the playthrough is collecting a lot of items, so it kind of makes it less likely that it's as simple as, like, go to GTG with Epona using a bow and a hookshot, because we kind of have all the items to do that. And obviously we have a bomb bag that's available about 2 items deep. The more Wanderers that show up, the more likely that there's Spirit Temple shenanigans on their way.
Right, yeah. And if that Market Wanderer is for that bow, or for the bomb bag, then like, that could be it, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense if it were Graveyard for Big Pose and then Market for Bomb Bag. And a Strength.
I think we might have found our Wanderer.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that even makes it possible that there could be, like, GTG Key Logic showing up, or it could be Forest Temple.
Yeah, and that also completely explains the Market Bombs, by the way, because with that strength now, we can use Bomb Flowers in DC to get the bomb back.
Yeah, so lots of options. Basically, there's like 4 separate dungeons that could have any of these zeros. It's this is about as casino as a Blitz seed can get. It's rather horrible, honestly.
Yeah. And these runners know that, and the horrible reality is that for one of them, it's going to mean elimination to the losers bracket.
What the hell is about to die?
Oof. What the hell is happening? Having a bit of a relationship with fire in this game. It seems to be really slowing him down. First in the Dampe race, now here.
Well, there's a ZL locked big chest in the well, but that's not going to have a Triforce piece.
That would be really... Well, then we would have to check the logic, because something is broken.
Yeah, it might be here.
Yep, there it is. As predicted. That one was kind of obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Wisdom showing up there. I think Cole is going to keep going. Probably just hoping that he's going to pick up some explosives here. I think that's what he's after. Yeah. What he doesn't know is that if he manages to make his way over to Dodongo's Cavern, that he's going to be able to get that bomb bag scot-free, but I don't blame it. Just the amount of checks that you can get really quickly in bottom of the well makes it worth at least picking up this big chest here.
Yeah, check out the sarcophagus. That sounds surprising.
No, Cola is going purely for density here. It's really smart because he just wants explosives. He knows what he needs, and he's not looking to try and clear everything. He knows that there can't be any other Triforce pieces here, so he's just trying to get some bomb shoes and get out.
Actually. Now we can use that for Warriors of Wind, and that might be very helpful, actually.
Yeah, if he ends up having to go to GTG, that could be really valuable. It's just makes some routing nice, maybe in Forest Temple, and it could also make things nicer if he ends up in Spirit Temple, because he can use those fire arrows now to pick up those magic lock checks that he couldn't get in Child.
Yeah.
keep in mind that if we have another hookshot show up anywhere that's not in Spirit Temple or GTG, then we are going to... Well, I guess we need Lens as well, but there's a good chance that Crossing is going to be available without Requiem, and that would be one of the requirements to make Adult Spirit a 0. So, I mean, it's literally like any one of 4 or 5 dungeons at this point, and the runners are not going to really have any information about which one it is.
Sure. And neither do we, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, we're kind of just stuck trying to metagame about the Wanderer hints.
Yeah. The only advantage that we on the commentary panel have is, of course, that we can see both their respectives, so we're operating on the knowledge of both.
Yeah, we still have a Wanderer for River that is unfulfilled, but I think most of the other Wanderers, we have a decent idea of what it might be pointing to.
Yep. I'd say Spirit is very likely, wouldn't you?
I'm kind of feeling Forest at the moment for at least
Forest.
one of them.
Yeah, that could be true. I can see that. But Forest, surely would require Minuet to be available somewhere, right?
Yeah, but there's just a ton of places that it could be, because the only way that it would logically matter is as long as Minuet is not locked behind either Saria's or Forest Temple somehow, and the odds of that are pretty good, considering that we have Rudos already. So like we could get the Ice Cavern song. So there's a lot of ways for Minuet to be available, even a stupid place that would make Forest access not an issue.
Right, yeah. And this is really where having a good knowledge of like being able to track spheres in your head, like literally the real spheres, because you know, if you look at the log, they'll say something about spheres, but those aren't like logical spheres, right? Like they don't lock any like particular axis. It's just the order the seed got the items in. But here we're talking about actual spheres, like well, you know, the bomb unlocks the sphere of all bomb lock checks. So anything that isn't like hard locked by another thing is in the same sphere. So it gets a bit weird to visualize it that way, but experienced runners like these two will have no problem.
Yeah, it's just in general, there's a lot of stuff available. And Cola, going back to CAC, I think this is probably going to be up DMT for Goron City, probably checking the song and then making his way towards Forest Temple, because that right now is the only dungeon he's got available. But maybe this is back to Graveyard to do Dompe Race, considering he's got Graveyard Wanderer.
Yeah, that's a lot of hints. And he has the Market Wanderer hint too, so when he sees that big pro, he's probably going to set up some alarm bells in his head.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a pretty big brain play. This is a little bit unlucky for Cola because he walked right past this the first time, but not too bad. And Nocturne on Minuet, so that's not Minuet vanilla, so that makes it pretty likely that
Ice Cavern.
Well, it just makes it pretty likely that Minuet is out there available somewhere. That's not Saria's locked. So it makes Forest a more likely location for a Triforce piece. And it's actually a little bit OoT is Minuet.
Ooh.
Do we know what medallion Forest is?
No, they ran right out of the temple. They didn't even care to check the altar.
So there's a reason that I always check the altar, and that's the exact reason, because sometimes it just really matters, like what reward Forest Temple is. If Forest Temple is somehow a stone, then that would actually kill the possibility of Forest Temple having a piece, because Forest would basically block Minuet.
Yeah, and I imagine that the caller will definitely know what's up with this spell now. What the hell's happening? Ning is heading over to Ganon's castle, which I don't think surprises anybody. This is a really obvious play right now.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky that he doesn't have the hook shot, and that hook shot location on target in woods, I think is going to help Cola a lot in terms of routing, because what the hell is this going to be leaving behind? A number of checks here. Shadow 2 not going to be doable, as well as Spirit Trial. So if that ends up having a piece, and it definitely could, then what the hell's might be leaving it behind and might not have a good opportunity to come back. But we'll see what happens here as we got a big chest showing up right now.
Everything you said might just be nothing. And it's fire.
Okay, so now we have two fire sources, so that kind of makes more things 0, right?
Right, yeah. And we're heading into DC. Not a surprise there. He won't even need to go to market for bombs, though he will. He will almost certainly check out what that was.
Cola is going to be really, really happy to see this bomb bag show up immediately, because that is really the last kind of foundational item that he's missing. Yep. And now he's set up, other than like Strength 2, he's basically got everything he needs to check every single potential 0 check in the game.
Yeah, Cola's in a really good spot right now, which might be a bit hard to imagine, but he is looking incredibly strong. Or maybe not. I mean, this track is a lot more full than what the hell happened. Was that Goron said he's foolish?
I was not even reading the hints, I apologize.
It went too fast. Cola reads at superhuman speed, it turns out. Valley. Alright, thank you, chat. I knew that, I was just making sure chat was paid.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah.
So it looks like What the Hells is done with the Ganons already, and nothing's showing up. So seems like our 2 zeros are deeper still.
Yep. Or he skipped over them, but we'll see.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to be Child finally for What the Hells. So we're going to see a little bit of retraced steps here. But I think Cole is probably going to end up in Ganons first with a few of these additional items, and we're going to see pretty quickly how much time the ordering and kind of the luck has cost What the Hells.
Yep. Yeah, and this is a Jabo Deku. Forest Temple's the one to look for. Okay, Forest is Spirit Medallion, so that completely negates the... So that means that Forest Temple is still in for a piece, basically.
Yeah, and it's pretty likely that that Minuet is going to be accessible, unless there was some item in Forest Temple that locked one of the stone dungeons. Then we'd know that it was out of there, but the only problem is that you can't really know one way or the other without actually committing to Forest Temple, so you're kind of screwed no matter what.
We are about a quarter of the way through the scene now. I would say with Cola in the lead. I mean, obviously he has a Triforce speed, but that doesn't really mean that much. But if I'm looking at his items and the way that he'll probably route the rest of the yeah, I'd say he's looking really strong.
Yeah, his ordering of going to Child first has just set him up better based on the song layout, and getting that hook shot in Child 1 and then coming back Adult. I think that route has really helped him. Unfortunately, it's has more to do with luck than anything else, because with no information out there, you just kind of have to shoot your best shot and hope you get lucky. But I mean, that's why we play best of threes, right? I mean, this is game 3, but we've had 2 games before this, so sometimes when you're at the mercy of one seed, weird things can happen.
Yeah. Oh, that's a boomerang. Unlikely to be necessary for anything.
Yeah, what the hell is just leaving that behind? If there's a Wanderer thing in Jabu, then, well, we'll see you later.
Yeah, see you later. That is not worth the time right now. Not even doing the game, but going to Jabu, that's just so much time. And that's not time that What the Hell's Happened has left to affording this seed. It's just too tight.
Yeah, the seed is really just about getting to as many potential 0 dungeons as possible, as quickly as possible.
Right.
And so anything that you're doing that's not directly leading you to get to one of those locations is probably something that you should be skipping. And if it's a stupid 0 dungeon, like Spirit, then you just kind of live with that, because you gotta just do as much as you can to increase your odds as you possibly can.
Right, yeah. And I think what's interesting about this seed is that it shows you how sequencing can really mess you up. And I think we saw that. I didn't commentate that seed. Wait, no, we did, right? Martin and Lucian. I think that seed probably would have gone a lot faster in Martin's direction and have done things in a different order because he would have gotten certain hints far more likely than he did.
So, I want to point out something from chat because we got Floosh, my buddy who has done a lot of practice races with me, and he pointed out that Nocturne was on Minuet and Shadow is a stone. So actually, based on the layout, we do know that Saria's actually does lock Minuet. So that means that Forest cannot have any pieces. So this will be a major point because it's kind of a subtle thing to realize. But if you realize it, it's literally like plus 15 minutes saved. So we will see if any of our runners end up in Forest Temple and make potentially a critical mistake. And I don't know if Cola's even checked the pedestal. So that's one of those things that, like, just that pedestal knowledge is super critical.
Right. And I imagine Cola knows this. He has the OoT, and he's almost certainly going to check the pedestal just to get like certain clues as to where to go and where not to.
I just think that that Cola is really just chasing after his Wanderers as much as possible, and well, it's the Wanderers are kind of unclear. Like, we've got a lot of potential worlds, right? Like, it could be Strength 1 for the Bomb Bag in DC, but it could also be Graveyard for the Bomb Bag in Market, and it could be CAC for, well, I guess Strength 1, but if it's Strength 1, then there's a decent chance that there's another Wanderer for Strength 2. What's the item in River? Where's our logical magic? I have so many questions and so few answers.
Right, yeah. Oh, you got it.
That's the difference between North America and Europe right there.
Yeah, we shoot better. I mean, Solvent and they definitely would not have hit that missed shot after trying. It makes perfect sense, you know. Americans are used to shooting guns, and OoT use bows, which is a European weapon. So it makes perfect sense.
So I think Cola here probably headed towards River to try and figure out what the Wanderer is there and maybe get some more intel. Maybe suspecting that it could be a strength upgrade for Spirit Temple, but it could always be behind Frogs 1, so it's a little bit of a gamble. But if Cola doesn't see anything here, then he'll at least know that he's got to probably go back to River as Child.
Yeah, for sure. Tempe digging, we haven't seen it yet. It's a hard piece.
And there it is, a Strength 2.
So, it's Strength 2, okay.
Yeah, so we're probably going to see Spirit from Cola really, really quickly.
Yep. I would say so. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Missing the setup there.
Yeah, that's a tricky setup.
Yeah, it is, but in these races, like, every single missed trick feels like the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, what if your opponent executes a little better and it's down to like 30 seconds here or there? Like, these things add up.
Yeah, you're counting seconds in this seed. It's nerve-wracking. Honestly, if when it's an elimination match like this one, where one person goes down to a lower bracket, this is not the seed you want. This is just stress. This is the game one you really want, where it doesn't really matter if we win or lose that much.
So yeah, Cola going straight to Spirit Temple. I think this is very interesting. Cola, I think, relying on the way of the Wanderer hints a lot in this seed, not even going to Ganon's, just thinking, oh, I need the strength for something, so I'm going to follow all the places where the strength leads, and if I don't find anything, maybe I can go back to Ganon's later. And we're going to see if that pays out for him.
Indeed we will. And I like Cola's place out here. It's very aggressive, kind of risk-takey too, honestly.
I think he's just using the information available to him as best he can, knowing that the information is kind of crap, but just trying to get the items that he needs as quickly as possible and getting into those dungeons and not worrying about kind of random overworld checks, but just being as efficient as possible, doing nothing extra, and that's really paying off because he's going to probably be able to get to both GTG and Spirit first. If for some reason, there potentially could be two pieces here, but I think GTG is probably likely available as a 0 as well, and he'll be able to full clear that almost certainly.
I agree. What the hell's happened? Also picking up that Triforce Wisdom from bottom of the well. Interesting to see what he'll be doing next now, though. He also immediately leave as well. He's done.
Did we see a key on adult side there? I wasn't paying attention.
I don't think so. I wasn't paying attention either.
Okay. If Cola didn't see a key there, then Spirit would be dead because of all the keys being Requiem locked. But I think Cola skipped the ZL check. That's a little bit crazy. I would have at least tried to make sure that there was a key there. Wow, Cola is just going deep here. Skipping ZL checks, knowing that there can't be a piece that is ZL locked if there is one here in Spirit.
Right, so he's very confident at least that there's a piece here. At least in his mind, he's betting on that, because otherwise, why would you play like this?
Yeah, I do think it is a mistake to skip the ZL check there. Even just playing ZL, if that ZL check is not a key, then there's no need to actually keep going in Spirit Temple at all, because it'll be key locked behind Child. So I think he just skipped it because he's only trying to find the Triforce pieces, but maybe a missed opportunity there. But we'll see. We could see something right here.
Yeah, it's won't choose. I was about to say, maybe Koa knows something we don't. This is all very much shot lock now. What the hell's happened? Also picking up his first strength. Haven't gotten the one from Kakariko yet.
Yeah, that was a little bit unlucky for What the Hells, because he actually went to Kak at nighttime and did Dampe over Anju, and that was the check that had the strength. But and it looks like he's headed towards Lon now, so he's going to be leaving behind that critical strength upgrade. Well, at least we think it's critical. And another big chest.
And it's more juice. Alright, well that's interesting. Koda's up to the safe part here. He's done here.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Okay, it does look like he's going to probably go back now, and I think he's going to probably check that key. Yeah, I think he probably realized that he...
No, we're wrong. Never mind.
Well, he's going to do the fire checks then, I think, and he's going to get out of here.
That's, yeah. Like I said, maybe Koda just knows something we don't, and he's about to find that piece right here now.
Well, I mean, it's certainly possible for it to be a piece here. I just think that the risk for committing to Spirit when you could know ahead of time if it were a possible or not is something you should probably always do.
Oh, we're going back to the child side.
Now, this is just the fire lock checks.
Oh, yeah, of course. Makes sense. We already know that there's nothing on the hand on the other side. We could beat that after all. On this side.
So, based on what we know, GTG definitely looking like the most likely place for the pieces. I think that it's likely that we're pretty much almost guaranteed that all three strengths are just out there somewhere and not locking each other based on the Wanderers that we have. So,
he's getting it.
So there could be Strength 2 Wanderer for things like Key Logic in GTG. That's definitely a possibility. Firelocked Key, and looks like we're out of here. This might be the time for GTG for Cola.
Yeah, he might reverse right back into it. That would be the fastest way. No. Okay. Well, I'm lost at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that he could check here that could have anything.
No. Skipping that CL check once again.
Because the top of Spirit is ZL locked, so there's no need to go to that last chest.
Nope.
So you can see, I think, the pressure of just like every single decision and trying to get all the logic right. I think Cola going to end up losing a little bit of time here, but in the moment, we're only 40 minutes into this seed, and these runners know like the amount of pressure that's on them. Just thinking about each individual check and realizing, oh, this is ZL locked. This is not ZL locked. Cola,
nice dodge, though.
Yeah, Cola, I think counting keys and neglecting the fact that it's ZL locked. But anyway, yeah, see, now he realizes it right now. Yeah, so just playing this mode perfectly is so difficult. You can see even really experienced players that know their logic really, really well can make small mistakes like that and forget about things, and 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there starts to add up to be some real time.
Right.
But Cola heading to GTG now, and I think this is the best location on the map for us to finally see some Triforce pieces show up.
I definitely agree. Yeah, and it's easy to focus on these mistakes, but when you're you're up against someone who's as good as what the hell's happened, you're gonna feel the pressure regardless. Even if we might say that what the hell's happened isn't as experienced in Triforce Blitz as Cola is. Cola is in no way going to ever underestimate his opponent here. He knows what he's capable of.
Yeah, just in this mode, like managing all the information is so difficult that even the best are going to make mistakes, and it just goes to show that like if you are able to manage the information and practice a lot in this mode, like you can kind of gain time over really experienced players just by playing better, and the skill ceiling is so high. And so like it may sound like we're being really critical, but I think Cola's overall strategy is just really, really solid. He made a small mistake, but it's all about just going to where the pieces are first, and a 2-minute mistake doesn't hurt you if you do everything else right and skip the right amount of checks. And Cola has been doing everything right so far in terms of like picking the big things right. Like he skipped Ganon's, which is a big time save based on what we know. He hasn't gone to Forest. And he's in GTG, so like the big picture looks really good for Cola, and I'm not going to kind of over analyze the one minor mistake.
No, of course not. Like mistakes happen. I've said this so many times before, but we're talking about a game where you're making hundreds of decisions in every single run. A couple of the decisions are going to be the wrong ones. It just happens. There's going to be a few tricks that you fail, a few movements that could have been better. Focusing on that, it's a great way to demotivate yourself and to frustrate yourself, but it's just unrealistic. Yeah,
but it's just one of those things. Like there are things in this game mode that you can actually do better, and you can do better, and it's both like frustrating and encouraging, right? Because there is a reward for continuing to practice.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell's almost done with his Child Spirit dip, and we're going to see where he goes after this. He's almost caught up, but he is missing those the critical strength to upgrade, which may or may not be required. But if it is required, then Cola likely going to be picking it up first, as entering GTG now is Cola.
Mm-hmm. But if strength 2 is required, answer me this, because this is what I'm confused about. Wouldn't it be a 2-path Triforce piece?
No, because if the third Triforce, or sorry, if the third strength is just out there, then potentially you could have skipped either of those strength upgrades that were chilling in Sphere 0 or early in the spheres. And so, and the fact that we know that River is Wanderer is basically a giveaway. Like we've had 2 strengths in Wanderer locations, so you can almost assume that the third strength is just going to be out there somewhere that's not strength locked. Even if it's in a really stupid place like Ice Cavern or Jabu or something like that. It's probably out there somewhere.
Yeah, I get that, but then wouldn't the first strength be path though? Because it would be the first one you always need, and then it's either or if you're lost.
Well, the fact is that none of the strengths are actually strength locked.
Right.
The trick is like, and the way I always explain this to people who are not familiar with kind of the way that the paths work is, if you deleted this item from the game, would this seed still be beatable? So right now, if you deleted Anju or chickens from the game, which would probably make a lot of people happy,
Yeah.
then the seed probably is still beatable because you could just go get that other strength. And
Right.
and then if you deleted the other strength from River, then the seed still could be beatable because you could get the Anju one and whatever the third one is. Or if you delete the third one, then obviously we got the first two strengths already. So if all three of those are the case, then none of those strengths end up being path, and strength just kind of ends up being a 0. And a big chest here.
A big chest. And of course I knew all that. I was figured it'd be an interesting question to explain. So obvious.
So more bait, but here's strength 2 checks coming up.
Indeed they are. And for all we know, they could both be here right now. In the same room, just chilling right next to each other.
It is possible.
Yeah. We have seen crazier things, so... One day we'll get a Triforce Blitz scene where all of the Triforce pieces are in this room. Just all 3 of them. Wouldn't that be something interesting?
Well, we've had experience with all 3 Triforce pieces being in some really silly locations. Recently we had a run by Martin, but here's a scale.
Scale. It is triangle shape, but it is not golden. It's not a Triforce. Neither is that. But we knew that one. That's a small one, and again, oh, that's a big one. This could be it. And it's horrible.
The trolling, oh man.
The trolling is on, yeah. So, what do we make of that strength 2 now?
Well, I mean, that makes Shadow 2 potential for a 0, I think, or at least very likely to be a 0, as if the long shot is available, then that would make Shadow 2 a 0, so just add another one to the pile. But we're starting to run out of, like, 0 locations. What the Hell's definitely heading over to GCG as well, so if you're rooting for What the Hell's, you probably want GCG to have nothing, because if there's 2 pieces here, Cola's going to probably get them both first.
Yeah, for sure. Unless they're both, like, if you had the other way, then you could get them both, maybe What the Hell Happens could win, but you'd have to take completely opposite path for what Cola's doing. Which I think is unlikely. Not a small chance.
Yeah, I don't even think that What the Hells could get into the maze before Cola gets
there.
there.
No, I don't think so either. If you're rooting for What the Hells, you don't want it to be here, that's for sure.
I just don't know where else it could potentially be that could bail out What the Hells. Because if What the Hells ever finds a strength 2, he's going to end up in Spirit Temple. I think Cola might be able to get towards Ganon's castle first as well for the remainder of the checks there. We know Forest can't have it. And really the only place left is just Fire Temple. But, I mean, there's not a whole lot of checks there, and I don't think that... I just don't see any 0 locations that What the Hells is going to be able to get to before Cola, based on the way that things have played out so far.
Yeah, I would say the proverbial rope is tightening around his neck here. It is just becoming hairy right now. Because at some point, you know, the list of checks that are left becomes shorter and shorter. And for Kola, his list is getting a lot shorter than What the Hells.
Yeah, I think the only way that What the Hells could find his way back into this is if somehow Cola ends up in Forest Temple. We talked about that earlier, and I still don't know if Cola ended up checking the medallions, but that is like the one big pitfall still out there that could cost our runners a really huge chunk of time.
Yeah, Kola really has to make a critical mistake for this season to go south for him right now. And honestly, between the 2 of us, I don't see Kola making a mistake that big personally.
I hope not. I mean, I've, for one, never made any major mistakes in Triforce Blitz, so I can't relate to this situation at all.
Of course! Neither have I, but that's only by account of not having ever played Triforce.
So wow, nothing showing up there in GTG. Really surprising. I almost wonder if Cola was going to drop Furores there, but it seems like he's just done. And this is probably Ganon's, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and a trip to the post seller by the looks of it. Makes sense. He still has that Wanderer to check out, and he doesn't know what's on there just yet.
Yeah, I think it's totally sensible just to go there and see if there's any surprises, but kind of hard to imagine, like, from Cole's perspective, like what could possibly show up that could be Wanderer that would actually help him. But I mean, it's such a small investment. Like, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, you want information in this situation because it's just becoming a bit weird at this point, I would say. Oh, never mind, we're skipping. We're just running right past it.
What is this?
You know what? Your guess is as good as mine. And at this point, I don't know what's he trying to do. Blade? Maybe? No.
Is this going to SFM? I'm worried about this. I'm worried this is Forest Temple.
Yeah, I don't like this. You know, you mentioned it, and I don't know, perhaps this is your curse, you just summon it into being.
Alright, so no, in all fairness, Cola doesn't have Nocturne yet, so Cola doesn't have a way to know that Forest is actually locked behind Saria's. The real test is going to be as soon as he picks up Nocturne, can he figure out, based on the medallion layout, that Forest is not a possible location?
I imagine yes, personally.
It's so hard. Like, you almost have to be thinking about it ahead of time, because it's not one of the, like, he's going to be checking to see if, like, it's Minuet, because that's really obvious. But it's really much more difficult to see that it's like, oh, it's Nocturne, and so that's the one that's locking Minuet. Additionally, I don't even know if Cola got the hint for OOT's Minuet.
Yeah,
I don't remember where that was.
He is aware of it.
Okay.
That's why I think he will get it. That's I think he'll see the Nocturne and he'll be like, okay, this is not going anywhere.
Well, Chad is saying that hit was on Nocturne, so he might not know. This is kind of a scary moment.
I'm pretty sure we saw him in top 2.
Okay.
99% confident. We'll see though. I might be wrong. As unthinkable as that is.
I just think it's a little weird that he went and equipped fire arrows and then didn't go to Ganon's. Like, I gotta believe that was his plan originally, and maybe he is changing his plan.
Yeah, the big pose too. Just kind of suggests I'm going to go turn in my pose and then head to Ganon's castle, but on the way to pose, he was like, actually no, I'm gonna go to Forest Temple. And right now, that play still makes sense in his point of view, but we'll see what happens when he gets this. No, this is
This could be Furores. It could be Furores. Let's see what
it could be Furores. You're completely right. Yes, because then he wouldn't have to make all this. No, this is not Furores anymore.
So yeah, we're gonna see what this ends up being. But this is what the hell's chance? Well, yeah. I mean, it's as far as like how deep Cola commits to this, because now it's starting to get weird. Like, these pieces have to be in really bad locations, probably in Ganon's castle or maybe even Fire Temple.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is getting really weird, to say the least. To see this, like I said, you know, you see 0 on 0, you think, oh, it could be pretty quick and pretty straightforward, and then this happens.
Well, I mean, it's really just down to who makes less mistakes, and Cola had a really great start, but this is a really difficult seed, like being able to figure out that that Nocturne ultimately locks the Minuet song, and that possibility. I know that Cola is probably came to Minuet to check for that possibility, but it's just a little bit more tricky than he was expecting. And I think what the hell's is probably headed towards fire.
Yeah, I think so too.
Could also be back to Forest, though. We'll see if what the hell's has made.
Yeah, we could have double Forest. No, it wouldn't be unthinkable that something like that might happen in this seed. I mean, any mistake Cola makes is a mistake what the hell's could make as well, and vice versa. So.
Yeah, but in all fairness, what the hell's at least has the information he needs. Cola, I think, is gambling a little bit, because I really don't think that he has the OoT as Minuet information.
I'm 100% sure he did, but he has never checked the pedestal, so perhaps he just hasn't figured it out yet, but yeah, I don't know. So
Well,
this is definitely a fireplay from what the hell's happened.
yeah, and I think this is a really good location.
Yeah, I agree.
But it would be really trolly if there were two Triforce pieces non-hammer locked in fire. Like, that would be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's more bomb fuse. You know what? That fucking bomb fuse chest in this seat. Every single time we see one in a location, it's like the emote in on 7TV, where it's like a wagging finger. Like, no, no, no.
It's trolling us super hard.
It's just this. Yeah, it really is. It's trolling us super hard. Well, it's not trolling us. It's trolling Cola right now, specifically.
What do you know? It's a key.
Oh, look at that. Well, some things never change.
So, there is potential for some silliness coming up in Fire Temple. We know that if there's going to be two Triforce pieces here, they've got to be pretty deep because there's got to be keys in this next room in order for us to not be hammer locked. But there's the possibility that maybe Scarecrow chest could be an issue. And if for some reason that becomes a thing, what the hell is this going to be hurt by his lack of magic? Because he cannot take advantage of Furor's Wind right now.
Absolutely. Speaking of Aurora's Wind, Kola should really be using that item to get out of here and maybe return later. But he doesn't know that. We see what else happened picking up a fairy, of course. Only 3 hearts. He's been, well, they've both been really conservative picking up hearts. And so he needs that extra time to get through the block room that goes up.
Yep, not possible to do it all with 3 hearts. I think I think I might have been able to do it once with like 4 hearts, and it was like 1 second left with really perfect execution, but 3 is just not possible.
But you need 4 at least, you're correct. It's just mathematically unmovable otherwise. And like you said, your movement has to be pretty much like flawless to make it happen.
Yeah, but with the fairy, that won't be an issue, and more keys, so likely to be continuing on here. Could always be a Wanderer's Strength for Fire Temple. That's not the most common possibility, but also not impossible, given what we've seen.
Yeah, I just want to bring out attention to something Alpha Field just said, another Triforce Blitz runner in this tournament. I would say pretty good. He mentioned that 3 hearts plus Furor's Wind and Magic is also doable for the block group, and that's really clever. I never thought of that, but yeah, you can definitely just drop Furor's Wind in there, reset your time, and Furor's Wind back in there. That's really clever.
And what the hell is having some good execution there, getting into this safe room with 1 second left on the timer and not burning his fairy too early. That would have been a painful mistake because he would have had to get another fairy and then come back after getting that key, but looks like we are headed into mid-fire. Where the heck are these Triforce pieces?
Yeah, it's really becoming confusing, and Mr. Martin just asked what was in the river in CAG. But as far as we know, we've only seen 1 check in river as far as I remember, which is the strength. There are, of course, other items in there. As for Kakariko, it's also strength. But we haven't seen all the checks in Kakariko just yet.
Yeah, there's always the possibility that something could be chilling on skulls.
Yeah, we could be getting Mega Troll right now.
Yeah, or, I mean, it's even possible that there's something silly in, like, Ice Cavern and its path. It's a wanderer for Rudos somehow. I mean, I don't understand how that could be possible.
Yeah,
unless it were leading to, like, long shot. But here's another troll chest.
Yeah, more bomb juice, perhaps? No, another bow. Oh, man. Yeah, this seat is weird. I would like to have a look at the spoiler log for this one. Oh, and we are out of here. Here's a little trick to get back up into the rotating room. It saves, a little bit of time. It's a neat little trick.
Yeah, I mean, Kola may still be in a decent spot. He's getting through Forest Temple really quickly, and especially if there is a situation where there's like 1 piece in fire and 1 piece left behind in Ganon's, behind Hookshot or something like that, it really becomes a question of, will What the Hells go back to Ganon's before he finds Strength 2? Because What the Hells could potentially lose a lot of time if he decides to go back to GTG after finding Strength 2 or ends up in Spirit Temple. So it's all up in the air right now.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. And Scarecrow's song could be also just trolling us right here and just hiding the Triforce piece. Yeah, this is. Oh no, Cola!
I think this is on purpose because he skipped the original room there,
Oh.
and he's going to use furores to get back up.
Okay. I should have known. That felt like an odd mistake to me. It's very intentional.
Yeah, it's because he probably he might have even forgot that he didn't do this room. But he chooses to leave this room for last just because it's slow. And if he finds a Triforce piece along the way, then he probably would leave this room behind if that were the case.
That's true. You know what? I'm ready to make a prediction in Elagatua. I don't think there's going to be any Triforce pieces in Forcing.
Wow, that's a bold claim there.
Yeah, but mark my words.
I think you got a little bit of a better odds for that prediction than you had on the one yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be right about that one. Someone saying in chat, I lost my Champions Cup match by falling down. Oh, yeah. It happens. It's rough when it happens.
What the hell's doing good HP management, just getting through all the rooms without taking too much damage and just managing the timers. Mark of a really experienced player. Doing 3 Heart Fire Temple is not fun.
No, it really isn't.
And here's the big chest. This is probably a Triforce piece if I had to guess.
Could be. There it is. Good guess. What an awful location, by the way.
Yeah, so we've got one locked down, and ooh, this is scary. I mean, it's possible that there could be another one deeper in fire. I think basically the only other location where there could be one is deeper in Ganon. So where is what the hell's going now?
That's a great question. And he's not safe warping, that's for sure. Playing Sun Song even. So he must have something in mind that takes a certain time of the day. What would that be as a adult?
Probably adult shooting gallery. He's thinking about the Cack Wanderer, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense. Not really sure why we're checking this. This couldn't be it, right?
Well, he's looking for strength too.
That's fair. I mean, he'll find it if he goes adult cack, which he very well might. If he's going for adult cack now for shooting gallery, there's a good chance he'll do that for the chickens.
Yeah, and if that's the case, that's really bad luck for What the Hell's. And What the Hell's critically missing magic. So that Shadow 2 check is not available for him, and if that's where the Triforce piece is lurking, then What the Hell's is probably going to have to find the other magic, because I don't think there's any chase where What the Hell's ends up back in bottom of the well.
And Koa's done here. He's like, okay, I've had enough of this place.
Yeah, it's probably Ganon's,
or no, never mind.
It's Phantom Ganon, he's key locked.
Oh, right. Yeah, fair enough. You know, key lock. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna find one on Phantom Ganon for sure, but
it just look at all this time wasted. This is 15 minutes, and again, like, he just didn't have the information he needed at the right time, and What the Hell's able to pick up that second piece, and now has the initiative. Can What the Hell's put it together and end up maybe back in Ganon's, or find the second magic potentially before the time runs out?
Yeah, or he might go to. Oh no, he's heading out. This could very well be a Ganon's Castle play.
Yeah, Spirit Trial looking pretty juicy.
It really does.
Psych. Well, I have no idea what this is now. This is back to river. I don't know what's going on here. Does What the Hell's have a scale? I don't think he does. I think it's Cola who has the scale.
I think so, yeah.
Well, I hope this is not ice, because ice would be kind of an obviously bad play.
Yeah. You can just, I think it's river, surely, right? Like, he just wants to know what's here.
Well, he already got the strength from here, though, so...
Yeah, but, you know, maybe he's thinking something else.
Well, I guess we'll find out in a minute, but, I don't know, I don't love this play from What the Hells. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm not in love with this play, but I'm still more in love with it than I am with Forest Temple.
Well, Cola's committed to it, and I think for Cola, it's all about what he does next after he finally gets out of Forest Temple jail.
Yeah, for sure. There's the key that he wanted.
Is he missing another key, or did he just spend the first key and realize that he was short? I think that's what Oh, Spirit Temple Wanderer, what the heck?
Huh. Okay. What did we find in there again? Nothing, right?
I have so many questions.
Yeah, I do too. That must be on the ZL chest, surely, right?
Surely that's got to be for long shot somehow, right?
Yeah, it has to be. But then, what does that mean? Shadow Trial?
Shadow 2?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I can conclude, right? Like,
right, yeah, same, yeah. I mean, we're kind of running out of options.
So maybe it could be some, like, really troll chain for long shot. Like, maybe it could be, like, a third strength for long shot and light trial for Shadow 2 or something like that. That's hard to imagine, though, with the fire arrows and magic, but it's got to be something weird.
It has to be. It has to be something weird. This seed is weird. A lot weirder than I expected when it started, that's for sure. And I imagine the same goes for you. I don't think you would expect
what? No. We have something unaccounted for. We have a piece in Deep Fire, and we have no wallets or Goron tunics.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't followed that yet.
So it could be absolutely a weird chain for a wallet. The classic Wanderer.
Classic. I mean, the classic troll item in OoT in general, isn't it?
Okay, well, Cola is finally out of Forest Temple. Where are you going now, Cola, other than check these fire torches?
Which is reasonable, I get this. This makes sense. And, you know, it's nothing.
So, save warping, I think, to Temple of Time now. Will this finally be the Ganon's play?
It has to be, surely. Like, where else would he go?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's down to just Ganon's and Fire as possible locations. So, What the Hell's seeming like he's going back to Fortress. And this is bad news, I think, for What the Hell's, because I have a feeling that he's going to either find a wallet or something leading to a wallet.
Did Cola just recheck the path ins?
Yeah, it's been that kind of seed. It's been that kind of seed.
It's like, did I just make a mistake? Is it 8, not 0? Oh yeah, it's definitely been that kind of seed, for sure. It's still funny, though.
This must be just so nerve-wracking for the runners.
Oh, yeah.
Getting a 0-1-0, you think, oh, this seed's going to be over in like 30 minutes. And here we are, over an hour in, and we've got 3 pieces between the two of them, a 0 in Deep Fire, and one that is totally MIA.
Yep. Yeah, this seed is very confusing. I would definitely agree.
I mean, eventually, we are going to run out of places where it could be, and
Cola's
quickly getting to that point.
Yeah, he really is.
And we're going to see if there's that last piece in Ganon's. I mean, it's basically Ganon's are deeper in Fire, and I just feel like, when is What the Hell's ever going to go back to one of those 2 locations? Like, I feel like he's going to search for strength, and if he's going to find it, he's going to end up even more lost. It was looking good, but I almost wonder if What the Hell's best chance is just having time run out on Cola. But I feel like Cola's going to be able to get to every single location before the time limit could even become an issue. As we're going to see Shadow 2 here.
Yeah, this is big. This could be... there's a really high chance that this is it. Oh, no.
Boop.
Yep, that happens. I think this has happened to all of us at least.
That was a hammer.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it could be like a hammer for keys, maybe? For deeper fire somehow?
Oh, well, what?
Not Shadow 2, so...
Not Shadow 2.
What the hell's entering brain paralysis mode there? I don't blame him. This has been pretty rough.
Yeah, pretty rough is an understatement, I would say. And this is just not the kind of seed you want to be playing in this situation. It really is just the worst case scenario.
Is this finally the Ganon's redip?
It has to be, really, right? Like what where else could he go?
All right, looks like it is. Oh, this is a critical moment. If Cola finds a Triforce piece here in Spirit Trial, this game's going to end.
Yeah. Yeah, what else happens? Gonna find it too. That's just the reality of it. He'll find it real soon too. And in that case, this seed is over. Just have to hit the target. Oh.
You gotta hit the other one, Cola.
Yep. That's a small one. That's a what?
Oh. So it's. I think it has to be deeper fire.
Yeah,
there's
it has
two
to
in
be.
fire. And are we gonna need Scarecrow Song? I mean, there's just not a whole lot of checks left in deep fire.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like the most cruel Triforce Blitz seed I think I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen the infamous 2-20-20 seed. That was pretty awful, but this is like a whole different kind of torture. A 0-1-0 in a game 3 between two incredibly experienced players, and we're gonna stick 2 zeros in deep fire.
Yep. But this might be well, I don't know actually. What else happened is off to I imagine fire, surely.
I don't even know what the hell this is doing. If he can big brain his way back into fire, then that is insanely brilliant.
Well, where else would he go?
To look for strength 2.
Where? Here?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have no idea.
Not here. You would go to Child Cack for sure. This is definitely heading to fire.
Well, I mean, but this could even be bad for what the hell's. I mean, maybe he's just going to chase the hammer. I mean, that could make sense. Maybe do like a DMC hammerlock check and see if something shows up.
Oh god, imagine he goes to what's it called Forest Temple.
That's what I'm scared of, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of too. Going back to fire is what he should be doing, but that makes really no sense, right? It makes no sense to go back to fire, right?
Well, I think he opened the shortcut. At least I hope he did. So it wouldn't be that horrible. But I think Cola is headed towards fire because he's out of locations.
Yeah.
So,
but if they're both going to fire, what the hell's gonna get first? This is just how it is.
Unless it's Pierre, in which case that Furor's win could be the difference.
Oh yeah, no, that's completely true. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. I can't watch this.
I mean, this is like the victory conditions have been ping-ponging back and forth the entire seed.
Oh, yeah.
At first, we were just like, Cola's basically going to full clear all the zeros before we get anywhere. And then the Forest Temple fiasco happened. And then what the hell's got the piece in deep fire? But then he left. And then no magic for Furor's wind. And then Cola going to Ganon's first, but then not wanting a piece to be there. And now we have two runners that are heading towards Deeper Fire Temple. What a great seed for entertainment that we've had in this incredibly important Game 3.
Absolutely. Yeah, what else? Just chasing the hammer. And yeah, this is going back to the Fire Temple.
Yeah, so if you're rooting for Cola, there is one check in this game that could potentially save him. And if you're rooting for What the Hells, you want it to be anything else.
Absolutely.
I do think that What the Hells is going to end up doing all these hammerlock checks, though, and that's potential wasted time because I think the only thing that could be back here is a wallet or keys.
Yeah, it can't be the hammerlock chest, surely, right? Like, it's just impossible.
It is just impossible, yes.
Yeah.
But it is possible that the Seed decided to do these checks for keys, maybe for the deepest parts of Fire.
Yeah.
Cola, you have not very much time left.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my gosh!
He might die in the entrance, right? No? Yeah.
That's unbelievable. He died like the first frame. He backflipped to reset the timer. That is so clutch.
You'll still die, but yeah. The game has to resolve the movement first before you can die. That's how it's programmed.
That is... I mean, and that's like 45 seconds, and if this thing ends up being on Pierre, like, it's going to probably come down to 45 seconds.
Yep.
I'm just in awe of like the master class of kind of skill that we're witnessing here between these two runners. We got a big chest here.
Yeah, this could be bad actually, depending on what it is. It's magic.
Oh, it's magic.
That's good. That's really good. If you what the hell's happened.
Yeah, that unlocks Furores now. If in case this ends up being Pierre, if What the Hell's commits all the way for Deeper Fire now, I think this could be lights out. But What the Hell's potentially could. Well, we'll see where he goes from here. This could maybe point him towards Spirit, but it looks like he's gonna.
Oh no!
Oh no!
No! Don't blow the Valkyrina! Don't do it! Oh no! Oh, this could be the game-losing decision.
That magic, it's the best item, but it's also the worst item.
Why didn't he put Horror's Wind down at the very least?
Well, I think he may be able to scum back there.
Oh, it's safe for
I don't know if he's going to do it.
We're going to find out. This could be really bad. That's not a reset.
No, this is... Is this somehow... Surely it can't be Shadow, like...
No, it can't.
What the hell? So you gotta know that it's not Shadow.
Wait, is that true? Yeah, of course, because you need Nocturne regardless, so it's always required.
Oh yeah, it can never be in Shadow. The only thing that I'm thinking is that maybe he thinks it's Shadow for Strength 2.
Yeah, that could... Yeah, I can see that. Which is that.
Yeah, he's thinking that maybe there's just, like... It's an adult spirit somehow, and there's there's multiple strength upgrades in really dumb locations, and one of them's Shadow.
Yeah, and the problem is that meanwhile Koa is making his way through fire step by step, and that is literally, as far as we know right now, we've been wrong before in the seed because this seed is weird, but it's literally his lifeline.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm missing something, fire is literally the only place in the seed where this last Triforce piece that we don't know about could be. So I don't think Cola's going to end up needing to use this. Okay.
Might be really close. He's doing backflips to reset the timer, isn't he?
Almost. He's got a fairy though. It's fine.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, like you said before, Heart, it's very tight.
Yeah, I think Cola is in it till the end for Fire Temple, just based on having no other options left.
Yeah, he has nowhere else to go. It has to be here. He knows that. Well, he doesn't know that, but he has a good guess, I imagine. Interesting setup for this jump, but he gets it. I like the one where you drop a bomb and you use the bomb to solve the platform like that. The one that Mr. Martin showed last time we commentated. Yeah, and it just feels like what the hell's happened has kind of, lost the plot, and he's just veering off into, like, he's operating on wrong information at this point.
Well, I mean, from his perspective, I think what he's doing makes sense because he just thinks that it's got to be adult spirit. And
Right,
so,
yeah.
if from his perspective, he needs to find strength 2 somewhere, and he doesn't really have any information on where it could be. And I'm not sure what he thinks the Cack Wanderer is for, because we know that's where the strength is. But I think he's just trying to kind of spray and pray on checks in hopes that he runs into his strength.
The Nocturne plays make so much sense now if you think about it, because he got Saria's song, right? In Cap. So, Saria's song's Wanderer. Then he finds Nocturne in SFM. He's like, okay, well, it makes sense. I gotta go to find my strength there.
Yeah, I mean, amusingly, the fortunate thing for What the Hells is those hovers are locked behind strength 2, so he was limited in the damage that he could do to himself in in Shadow Temple, but he's going to end up in ice here, it looks like, and that's not going to work out much better for him.
Oh no, yeah. This is looking bad now, I would say. He can be here, it's just not possible.
Yeah, and I know that What the Hells knows that, but it's just unfortunate based on his information. We know that it's not in spirit, but What the Hells doesn't know, and based on the information that he's seen so far, I don't blame him for thinking that the third piece is there.
Absolutely not. This is perfectly reasonable from his point of view. It's just, unfortunately, he's missing critical information, as we like to say.
Yeah, or just the location of that strength. Feels bad to be wrecked by chickens, but sometimes that's just how it be.
Getting wrecked by chickens in Triforce Blitz, that has to be the worst feeling, too.
So I think this was a key over here that Cola's picking up just to be able to go deeper into fire, but
yeah,
I think Cola's here for the long haul.
Yeah, and Cola's already seen the big chest down below, so Cola's already like figuring his head, like, I need to go all the way. Cola's made up his mind. It's going to be here or he's going to die with it. And there's one. Oh.
This is just for roars to
teleport back up. Yeah. Just trying to get the audience excited. Just trying to make them think like there's something going on.
Has this seed not had enough dramatic tension yet?
It can never be enough. It can never be enough. That's my job, okay? You're here for the knowledge. I'm here for the tension.
Well, I've been very tense, so thank you. Good job, question mark.
Question mark. No,
all right, well,
it's just a matter of time, Where is this last piece going to?
Yeah, how troll is this seed going to be? Are they actually going to stick it on freaking Pierre?
You know what? If it happens, I'm going to start thinking that maybe Blitz of Cohesion.com is a bit biased towards really awful looking.
Here's a big chest. This could be it.
This could be it, yeah. And it is.
Oh, it is.
And that's a GG for Cola. Taking the win in the upper bracket of Private Blitz tournament. Sending What the Hell's Happens down to the lower bracket. Neither of these players are out of the tournament just yet.
That's not true. This is a single elimination bracket, so What the Hell's is out.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
You don't get dropped to a Wanderers bracket?
No, it's because best of threes, so the brackets are totally separate. So we play best of threes, but if you lose a best of 3, you're out.
So this is the end of the road for What the Hell's Happened, an elimination match. I didn't think.
And that's so brutal. He was right there. He was literally one check away and bailing out. And, well, you can't say he didn't have his chance to pull this one back. Cola opened the door, but in the end, the experience won out, and Cola able just to, check them all. I think we're going to see if we can get our runners in here for a quick interview, but I just need a minute here. What an exciting race. This this seed kind of gave us all that we could handle, and certainly I think both our runners probably expected it to be done probably 45 minutes ago, but we pushed the hour 30 mark.
Hopefully we can. I mean, you know, getting a little out of the tournament is always a disappointment, so I wouldn't be surprised after that seed that he didn't feel like.
Both of the players are chatting in the race room. I think they're just basking in the awe of what a mess this was.
As are we. That seed was just weird.
I mean, of all the locations that you could put 2 zeros in, the seed just like, we'll stick them both in deep fire. When Spirit is a potential 0, GTG is a potential 0, Forest is not a 0, but really looks like a 0 unless you have a lot of information. DC is definitely a 0, Ganon's a 0, and you've got Strength on Chickens, fun times.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of red herrings that just lead you nowhere.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, in a 0 seed, you often have a chance to check every single possible location that can be a 0. So we kind of knew that the time limit wasn't going to be a factor. And when played right, 1 hour, 30 minutes, that's usually about all you need unless the layout's really awful.
Yo.
Hello.
Hello, GG's.
GG's, Cola. Congratulations on your victory, and congratulations on going on to the next round of the upper bracket.
Oh, thank you.
That, you know, just jumping right into it, that was an interesting experience. I'm sure you will agree.
Yeah, for sure. I have no clue what the seed wanted from you, to be honest.
So we're thinking that there's wallet or tunic access in a really stupid place that is screwing up all of the wanderers. There is some additional information that you didn't get, where I think there's a spirit wanderer and then there was a fortress wanderer, which I think was for hammer. So there's something silly happening, but the seed was very dramatic for us. You basically ended up clearing every single possible 0 path location in the entire game. And
Exactly.
found it in basically like the 2 last checks that it could have been. And what you didn't know is that you cleared a logically dead forest temple due to the medallion layout and Nocturne. And so for a while, it looks like you were in a really commanding position and you would just be able to kind of full clear everything that was possible before What the Hells could get anywhere. But because you went into forest and What the Hells went into fire, he was actually in there first. And had he kept going for 2 more checks, it would be probably him joining us for this interview. So just a really dramatic race.
Well, I mean, I would have joined the interview anyways, right?
Yeah, I guess not. But yeah, it'll be you that's continuing on. And I mean, just what a dramatic game 3. How did it feel just playing, knowing that, I mean, you probably expected this to be sub 1, right? And then that didn't happen.
Yeah, it was getting progressively more stressful to clear a dungeon and not find anything. Like, it was getting more and more anxiety-inducing.
Yeah, and just to tell you how close the seed actually got, What the Hell is it also going to Fire Temple? He bailed after finding that first one.
Yeah, I heard that he was in fire and fought one.
And he actually went back to fire a second time and went there with the hammer and found magic there, which he skipped the magic in bottom of the well. And so then left again because he could, if he had actually climbed back up the second time, he still would have been able to get to that third piece. But unfortunately, just he missed strength 2. That was the critical thing, and I think he was convinced that the piece was in spirit.
Yeah, I was convinced of peace and spirit for the longest time as well, to be honest. But then I went into spirit, and when I climbed back up, I realized that the check that I had left was only behind ZL, and it couldn't be there because it's a 0 path. So it clearly wasn't spirit. So you followed the strength 2 to GTG then, and it doesn't give you anything there either. And then you're like, well, Oh no, dude.
Yeah, and I thought like you played a really, really solid seed up until that point, because it definitely looked like the seed was just screaming at you to go to Spirit, and I guess it kind of was. I mean, the Wanderer definitely takes you through Spirit for some reason, which we don't know why. So I don't
Yeah.
think you were wrong in concluding that, but things kind of went off the rails there. I don't know if you ended up ever checking the pedestal, but
No, I never did.
yeah, so there's some critical information you missed because Shadow is actually a stone, and
Yeah.
Minuet had Nocturne. So basically, Minuet was logically locked behind Saria's, and it was kind of a difficult thing to nail the logic down for. But
I mean, I
you're missing
probably
info.
would have realized it if I read the pedestal, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, I did clear the forest temple, so there is that.
Yeah, and I think just overall in seeds like this, you can't play the same way that you might play in a seed with like a lot of really high path counts. So, like, what was your strategy coming into this, knowing right off the bat that this seed was going to be a hot mess?
Oh, if you see a 0-1-0, you gotta, like, skip everything. I was even debating even going to Kakariko at the start of the seed.
That aggressive, huh?
Yeah.
Could you explain why you would do something like that? Because that's interesting to me. Because to me, Kakariko still feels like such a dense location.
But it doesn't give you hints, and you do want the Wanderer hints. And the path you have is SFM, for the one path, which is probably gonna be Storms at the end of the day.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Do you value Wanderings like really highly then for a seed?
Yeah, you could just gotta rush to pieces if you have like such low sphere counts.
Right,
Well,
fair
path
enough.
counts.
Well, I have no further questions. Do you? No?
No, I think we pretty much saw everything. Literally saw everything, as far as where the pieces could have been and weren't. But thank you, Cola, for providing us a very exciting race. And shout out to What the Hell's also, who I think played really well in this seed and kind of missed the strength on chickens. But ultimately, I think his strategy was pretty good. And he gave us a really exciting performance. And just unfortunately, skipped the place where it was. And when that happens, you kind of look dumb. But that's life sometimes. So congratulations, Cola. You'll be moving on. I don't know if we know your next round opponent yet,
I
but
haven't looked
one step
yet.
further.
Yeah.
Well, if in that case we can get Dagstar in here to wrap it all up, you no doubt has something to say.
I mean, not really. I just literally got off work and started to stream, but sure, I can do that. Not a problem. No, congratulations, Cola, for the parts I was conscious to see. That was great to watch. And of course, GG's to What the Hells, and hopefully we'll see him again on another race soon. I do want to give a shout out to the people behind the scenes who were doing all this and helped me out because I was literally in a very high time crunch to get this running.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was. So first of all, like I said, Cole and What the Hells. Also our trackers behind the scenes, Benji Rees, Chuckles501, Lady Draco 87, making all the shiny buttons so that you can see who's leading, who's not, what items they've got, etc. And you know, just taking a lot of work away from me. Of course, cannot possibly go. Where is it? Cannot possibly go 24 hours without baseball doing something crazy awesome to help us out in the Silver Gauntlets here. So shout outs to them for race monitoring this one. Always helping us out. And of course, to Air Hyrule there, Spell and Elagatua for just commentating and giving us all the. I can use words, I promise. And telling us everything about what's going on here.
Yeah, for doing the talky bits.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate you guys, your commentary, and I really did enjoy the Air Hyrule thing at the beginning. That was great.